Sign me up for the Charlie Hurt foreign policy right now, because I think most Americans have had a belly full of that, don't you?
You know, Donald Trump is that breath of fresh air in a broken system. People are tired of business as usual in Washington. So here he is. That's why people like him. And I think the Republican Party has gotten a little too religious and serious. And that's why they like the way that Donald Trump is handling it now. And here we got Ivanka.
You recognize Ivanka Trump now standing up to introduce, with a few preliminary words, her father, Donald Trump, about to unveil his proposals to make child care more affordable, more accessible for American working families. Here she is.
Find her vehicle surrounded by the police. Her children had been hospitalized, and she was jailed and charged with felony child abuse. As I have traveled around the country with my father, stories about the hardships caused by our existing child care system, one that is too expensive, too outdated, and too inaccessible, come up time and time again. Just last week, I spoke with a military spouse who recounted the vicious cycle responsible for holding so many American families back economically. She relayed to me the frustration I've heard all too often of not being able to work and bring home a second income because she can't afford quality and reliable childcare. Stories like these go straight to my heart, and they've steeled my belief that there has to be a better way. I have 3 young children myself, and I'm grateful daily for the means to pursue 2 of my dreams, being a mother and investing in a career that fulfills me. I recognize that far too few women can say the same for themselves, and that I am more fortunate than most. This must change. As a society, we need to create policies that champion all parents, enabling the American family to thrive. My dad agrees, and he's in a very unique position to do something about this problem and the numerous other problems facing tens of millions of parents and caregivers across our country. Today, childcare is the single greatest expense for many American families, even exceeding the cost of housing in much of the country. It's depleting the hard-earned savings of men and women across our nation, and it's at the root of wage inequality by disproportionately affecting women. The federal policies that are in place to benefit families were written more than 65 years ago to serve a primarily male workforce that no longer exists. Dual-income families were not the norm in 1949 when the current tax code provisions regarding families were established. Today, however, women represent 47% of the U.S. labor force, and in almost 2/3 of married couples, both spouses work outside of the home. 70% of mothers with children at home also work in a professional capacity, and 64% of these moms have kids age 6 and under. The number of households led by single mothers has doubled in the last 30 years, and approximately 2/3 of these women work in low-wage jobs that offer neither flexibility nor benefits. My father has created a plan that is designed to bring relief and to provide working parents with options so that they can make the decisions that are in the best interests of their families. Safe, affordable, high-quality childcare should not be the luxury of a fortunate few. Historically, this has not been an area that has received nearly as much attention in the policy world as it deserves. While there are systems in place for older children, hardly any intellectual energy has been devoted to addressing the needs of families with children from birth to 4 years old. In particular, little focus has been put on determining how best to alleviate the enormous financial burdens childcare places on low-income and middle-income families. At the same time, the United States is the only industrialized nation in the world that does not provide new mothers with paid maternity leave. My father's policy will give paid leave to mothers whose employers are among the almost 90% of U.S. businesses that currently do not offer this benefit. This is a reform that is of critical value and long overdue. My father's plan also recognizes and supports the many women who may not be mothers, but who have left paying jobs to provide care for elderly dependents. This is another example of people who have been routinely ignored by federal policies. Having employed and empowered thousands of women at every level of his company throughout his entire career, my father understands the needs of the modern workforce and is offering a new and innovative solution where others have not. My father's plan also acknowledges the vital contribution of stay-at-home moms and parents, fathers and mothers, who will ensure that they too will receive these new tax benefits. Raising children full-time is one of the hardest jobs anyone can do, and it's essential that our policies recognize and honor that reality. As an employer, a mother, and a woman who works, both inside and outside the home, these are topics I consider of critical importance. The policy my father is about to outline is one that I'm proud to have helped conceptualize, and ensuring its enactment will be one of my top priorities when he is elected come November. This is not a women's issue. It's a family issue. It's an American issue. It's an issue that's often been discussed, but has yet to be solved. My father plans to change that, and now he will tell you how. It is with great admiration and respect that I introduce to you our next president and my father, Donald J. Trump.